Welcome to the Brand Clarity Podcast, hosted by Visions to Images and Susie Liberatore. The Brand Clarity Podcast highlights several different topics, including entrepreneurship, franchises, and digital marketing trends. Visions to Images helps corporations and franchises with their branding, website, paid advertising, and digital marketing.
Hey everybody, it is Susie Liberatore. It has been a while since I have been on a solo podcast episode. I'm real excited to actually have a solo podcast episode. It's so amazing to have all of the guest speakers on all the time. But what I love more is to inspire and motivate people in entrepreneurship, franchise, marketing, any and all of the pieces of life that we deal with when it comes to those types of things. Those are my three main objectives in life and in business. So I'm really happy to have some solo conversations with you guys. Over the past year, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but behind the scenes, I've been building another business venture. It is my goal to keep building businesses. So we are always looking for partnerships and new ideas with people. This idea came to me specifically when I was hanging out with a friend and we were talking about business and life. And what really inspired me is I was just starting to get into the franchise industry. And when I was getting into the franchise industry, we were dealing with multiple locations, and it was very hard to find a platform that could do all of the things that I wanted it to do as a marketing expert. I found that we were signing into multiple accounts and going and losing data. We had so much marketing and branding assets that we were just hiding them away in folders that we couldn't even find. We didn't know if content was being approved. We wanted review systems. There was a ton of issues that I saw firsthand after dealing in the franchise industry with my personal clients at Visions to Images. And I started to have this idea of creating a marketing software. And I kept pushing it away because I was like, I don't know if people are going to buy it. What if it doesn't work? How much is it going to cost? All of these mindset barriers kept coming to me. So I kept brushing it off. As time went on, I realized that my customers needed this. And the more I started to fantasize about the idea, my clients were like, yeah, let's do this. Like, why haven't you done it yet? Well, there's a ton of reasons, right? I have to develop it. I have to pay for it. We kept having these ideas, and it eventually came to me that I was like, okay, I really need to sit down and think about this idea that I have. I started to talk with many, many people, colleagues, business associates, so many different people to really help me understand if this was good to do or how to even get started or all of the things, right? I've always been able, whenever I've developed businesses, I've always been hands-on where I can do all of the design and creation and marketing and content in any business that I've personally created. So this is a little bit different because it's hands-off where I don't develop the actual product, but I can put forth all of the marketing efforts. So it was very interesting to see that I couldn't control all of the things, which was another mindset barrier, right? I had to hire a developer. I had to go through the process of hiring a developer. I was talking more and more with people. And what really happened is I talk with a therapist. I see a therapist, which I highly recommend everybody sees a therapist or talks with a therapist because you deal with stuff that you don't even know you're dealing with, and it helps you overcome mindsets. I've worked with business coaches, sales coaches, marketing coaches, right? I believe in investing in my future. And I've always had some type of support system. Even working with a business coach in the past, I don't think that I would have gotten to where I am with my therapist. So I was talking to my therapist. I talked to her about any and everything because it's so open-minded. And I told her, I said, I have this business idea, but I don't know if I want to do it. And I'm kind of scared. And so she, without even knowing anything about business, she's like, I don't know anything about business. I'm here as your therapist. But what would happen if you woke up tomorrow and somebody else took your idea and they made millions off of it? And I was like, yeah, I'd probably be pretty pissed. Right. And she's like, pissed is an understatement. You'd probably be really mad. And I was like, yeah, probably so. And she's like, it's okay to say you would be really mad. Right. And it got me thinking, what would they have done? Like, how did they succeed to get to that point? Right. So then she asked me the other question. She goes, what if you invested in this and it doesn't succeed, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I said, well, I could lose money. I can not get clients, right? So like we started to go through all of these mind block issues that were like holding me back without even knowing it. I'm a business owner, an entrepreneur. I take risks all the time. I've taken risks in other businesses, but for some reason, this one was stuck with me. And, finding a developer to work with was very stressful because they can nickel and dime you, charge you millions for one phase, right? And some of them didn't understand my vision. Some of them couldn't communicate with me. They just wanted my money. They just wanted me to be a client. They just wanted me to be a number. And I didn't want that. I wanted somebody who understood my mission and my vision and could really assist with the process along the way. So finally, I found a great developer that I've known for a little while now, and we agreed upon a bunch of stuff. And it made me feel happy that I was able to be patient and take the steps that I needed to take in order to have my mindset right. Because I was going through saying, oh, maybe I should work with this person. Maybe I should just try this person, right? And sometimes we get in our own ways, period. As entrepreneurs, it happens more often than not. And this is kind of like a mindset episode / entrepreneur episode where I'm talking to you about mindset as well, because back in January, I went through some stuff that I needed so much help with. I was seeing my therapist a lot, and I started working out, and I started to really focus on my mind, meditation, breathing, learning how to relax my mind, learning how to prioritize myself, my business, my son, learning how to just take a step back from it all so that I'm not overwhelmed and I can be the successful person that I need to be in all areas of my life. And so that was a lot of things that needed to happen before I started in June really saying, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on this project. And what excites me so much about new businesses and new launches in any business is creating the image, right? I'm visions to images. So I love creating the end result of, okay, I love coming up with the strategy, the design, the creatives, the content, all of the marketing. I was ready basically with all of that before I even hired the developer, which is so crazy to say. I already had a network in place of who I was going to sell to. I started to really funnel those people in and get people excited so that I knew in my mind, okay, these people are excited and they're going to probably buy from it. So it's worth it to explore this option, right? And so I think oftentimes, especially for me, I've gotten so mind block driven where I shut things down or don't see things in other ways. And I was like, but look at all this potential. And then I was on the phone with my dad one day, and he doesn't know much about business, but he's a very smart guy, and he does a lot of work with me internally for the business. He's admin and stuff like that. And I said, Dad, I'm so scared to take this on. And he again said, what's the worst that can happen? Blah, blah, blah. How much money could you lose? Right? All of these things. And at the end of the day, he said to me, Suze, in 10 years, where do you see yourself? And I was like, I don't know, Dad. I can't even think about where I am tomorrow, right? Because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to even think about where I wanted to be in the next year. And he was like, do you want to be doing agency work for the next 10 years? And I was like, I love it, but I don't know if it's feasible, right? I don't know. I've been doing it for so long now that it's just natural to me, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love my clients. I love my job. But there comes a point where people get exhausted or drained, right? It happens all the time in careers. And he said, this could be your retirement plan. And I want you to think of it like that. You're still going to have the agency. The agency is going to be fine and it's going to grow. But your retirement plan is to build the SaaS program, period. Because with that being said, you can be kind of on the back end and build it. You can eventually sell it. You can keep it. You can have a partner. You can have investors, right? But at the end of the day, it's your company that you don't have to be involved with every day. You're going to build that audience from your agency clients. I was like, yeah, that's exactly correct. Hey there, I want to interrupt this episode with a quick message. If you're listening to this podcast episode and want to learn about branding your franchise or small business, then go to brandingbridge.com. That's branding-bridge.com. So after talking with so many people, it all came to fruition. And now here I am. Gosh, I don't know how soon this is going to launch, but here we are. We're putting a lot of stuff in place because I had this great big vision of how I wanted it to work and be, and I was excited. I was like, we're going to do all of these things. But talking with the developer and talking with other people, we had to say, okay, what are we going to do first? How much is that going to cost, right? As a business owner, cost is always a factor. This is probably my third real investment outside of like retirement and all that other stuff that I have aside. But this is my third investment, my business investment. And each time I look at it and I'm like, and I get smarter as I look at the investments, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the big picture and I'm like, okay, we need to just start with phase one. We have to build the clients. We have to build in the software, get yeses from all of the people that they love it, and then build in phase two, phase three, phase four, whatever phases that people are telling me that they want. And as I started to talk with more and more people, I started to get more and more ideas, and it wasn't necessarily me giving away all of my ideas and what the software is going to do, because I was very conscious of talking with the right people at the right time, because I didn't want it to, again, go to somebody else. And what I realized was I was talking to a franchise broker / consultant, and he was like, I would buy a system or use a system or partner with you with the system if we could do CRM databases just for the franchisors that I work with that we are selling to. And he started to show me his spreadsheet and some of his internal stuff. And I was like, wow, that's really neat. Yeah, we could totally integrate that as well. But I don't know when that's going to happen, because we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like we had all these other things in place. But it excites me to hear these conversations and to make all of these connections with all of these different people. It's almost like this is like I'm having an affair with visions to images in a sense, right? Because visions to images is always my bread and butter. It's always my number one. But it was almost like when I started to talk and open up about franchise clarity, I was like, wow, there is so much potential here. There's so much we can do. I'm super excited. And I'm going to use my time that I dedicated on my own marketing into franchise clarity, right? Because that was another factor, is how much time do I need? How much time do I need to fulfill all of the goals that I have? How many team members do I need? All of these things. It was all in my mind, right? And it helps. I journal all the time. It helps me just to write things down. I started to think I'm not good with numbers, right? I know I'm horrible with numbers. I said, how much am I going to sell this for? How many people do I need to get back a return on investment? And then how much do I need to make a profit off of, right? So I came to great numbers and I realized, holy cow, I have a lot to sell, but I also have a lot of audience that would buy this, right? So then I started to say, let's build this even further. And it just keeps happening and happening. So I'm excited to first announce Franchise Clarity, all-in-one marketing software. And with that being said, I'm excited. The first phase is going to be a review system integration. You're hearing it first. I'm hoping it'll be live very, very, very soon. But in the meantime, I have so much big goals for this, and I'm super excited. Like I'm going to probably cry one of these days when it all comes to fruition, because it's been so much behind the scenes. Like I said, it's been a year in the making and all that fun stuff. So I am ready to launch this review system. You're going to be able to send out messages to your clients, upload clients to your database, and say, if you had a positive review, click here to Facebook, Google, and or Yelp. And also you can incentivize them. Hey, get $5 off your next purchase, whatever. If it's a negative review, please respond to this directly, and we'd be happy to assist you. And this is not a way to build sales necessarily, but it's a way to build customer relationships and customer nurturing, which in turn is sales and referrals, right? If you know you're doing a good job and there's people seeing it all over the internet and or they're sharing it with their friends, you're going to get more sales and revenue driven from that. But with franchises specifically, there's so much being missed, and this was just one piece of it. The big thing that I personally like and enjoy is when I can see reviews, a website that are actual legit reviews. We're going to be able to integrate this with your website, no matter what platform you're on, we just type in an HTML snippet and it's on your website, and it'll integrate from whatever reviews. You get to pick and choose which reviews you want them to see. So you'll be able to pick from Google, Facebook, and or Yelp, however you want to do it, and it'll show up as actual reviews. Whereas in the past, I know people will just copy and paste reviews onto their website, and it's not legit. How many times have you seen so many reviews on somebody's website and you're like, I don't really know if this person's real or legit. They could have just wrote this themselves. It's going to come from their real customers, and it's going to be authentic. And too many times in today's society, I think that we struggle and have issues with customer service and or not appreciating people enough. And so I think this is going to help build all of these relationships for all parties involved. I know I was looking for water and mold kind of restoration. I had a flood in my basement, and I'm going to look on Google reviews first and foremost to see these reviews and see them on their website, right? Are there negative reviews? Are there positive reviews? Did they respond to the reviews? All of these questions come into place. If you're having a negative review and you're not able to respond to it, then that's a huge another factor. So with that being said, there's also going to be some type of templates put in for when you send out your emails that you can just plug and play and adjust. And then there's also going to be some resources and tools for best practices, right? So if you get a negative review, what are you going to say? How do you say it? If you get a positive review, what should you respond and say? Because there's so many algorithms out there that if you're not responding to those things and taking caution of it, it can affect your Google ranking and your SEO. And I know many people would agree with me on that. So that's where we're going with Franchise Clarity first and foremost. We're going to have many different portions of being able to really develop and create marketing tools for people. So we are going to be creating a place where you can put all of your branding assets, a place where you can put all of your content that's approved and people can just plug and play, click on an image and it's going to plug and play. We're going to be looking at data. We're going to have specific ads put into there. Everything is going to be an all-in-one platform. And eventually you can also build out your website and have some CRM database as well. So there's a lot to this software, and I'm super excited. And so how can you help me? Well, you can, of course, become a customer first and foremost. And it's not always just for franchises. I have small business owners that want to jump on board. You can help us in that way. We are always looking for partnerships and or other business ventures. And we are always looking for people who can share and become essentially a referral partner for us in the future as it continues to grow. So with all that being said, I would love to have conversations. You can visit franchise/clarity.com and you will be able to learn a little bit about what's happening as it kind of launches and sign up for newsletters. And I'm excited, and I hope that you guys are excited no matter what industry you're in, because like I said, you can do this for so many businesses, and I'm pumped about it. I am so passionate about this. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice, but I'm passionate. And I look forward to sharing more details as everything starts to unreveal.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in on today's Brand Clarity episode with Susie Liberatore. 2 things. First and foremost, please, if you liked this episode, please subscribe and leave some positive reviews. Also, don't forget to sign up for Stop Sending Your Customers to the Competition and get my insider secrets to compelling branding that converts. You can find that at branding-bridge.com. It's a free workbook for you to check out right now, all of the branding techniques and strategies that I use for my paying clients.